What is going on, guys? Craig1287 here, and assuming you are watching this on December 23rd of 2013, it is my birthday! Huzzah! I am now 26 years old, and yeah, pretty cool. Having a birthday and stuff, you know, happens once a year, you know, things like that. But yeah, so got some Battlefield 4 gameplay going on there in the background, just kind of as a backdrop. And I figured something to, you know, upload for you guys for my birthday. I figured I would talk about my top 10 favorite games of 2013. Now, I would like to say, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. This is a list of games that I haven't actually played, either because they're on console only and I'm waiting for the PC version, or I just haven't gotten around to them. A lot of the indie games I do plan on getting to. It's just there's too many games that have come out this year and years past, and I've Steam sales, dadgum, I've got like 200 games on my Steam list that I haven't even installed and played yet. So one day I'll get to them. But that list would be The Last of Us. Now, I do own a PlayStation 3, and I'm actually going to be playing that game real soon because it is on my Christmas list, and that will be in my hands in the next 2 days. So that would probably make my list had I played it. Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm holding out for the PC version. I am optimistic that will be here someday. I hope so. If it's not released on PC within a year, I will eventually get it for the PlayStation 3. Or hopefully they will have at least released a PlayStation 4 version so that I can play it in, oh god, I hope 60 frames per second. My goodness. So yeah, that would probably make this list. And those two would probably be the most likely to make the list. And I'll tell you the two that I think they would replace. More than likely. Spelunky, that is an indie title that I've heard so many great things about. I own it, I just have not installed it, so definitely looking forward to that. Gone Home, Adam Sessler gave that his Game of the Year for Rev 3 Games, and a lot of other game reviewers and press individuals have said many good things about that. Definitely one of those games I've been trying to avoid spoilers for, so I really want to check that out. Papers, Please, another indie title that I've just heard a lot of good things about in the ways that it can turn you into a horrible person by your own free will. So very interested in that. Super Mario 3D World. I don't own a Wii U. I only own a Wii. So at some point, I definitely want to check that out. Hopefully I can find some friend of mine that's got a Wii U. I don't know of anybody that does, because that console hasn't really sold very well. And then Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo is my favorite Zelda game of all time. It beats out Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and the widely considered best game, Ocarina of Time. I love it, so I was really amped to play this, and it's got some weird things going on that I'm sure I'm not a fan of, and I don't own a 3DS. That's mostly what's kept me from playing it, so hopefully I can find a friend that has a 3DS that has that game. So, my list. I'm going to tell you the top 9 in no particular order. Well, it will be in alphabetical order, but it's not in my, I mentioned Adam Sessler earlier. I was a fan of how he did this, which was just listing them alphabetically, because I'm similar to him. I don't really like to rate things because they're very different. You know, multiplayer versus single player. Some games are great because of the writing and the humor. Some games are great because of the gameplay. Some are great for the story. So we're just going to do my top 9 in alphabetical, and then my top game of the year will be at the very end. So first up would be Antichamber. I am a huge fan of puzzle games. I love them. Things like Portal, Limbo, what was that one? Braid. I wanted to say Bastion, but Braid. I love puzzle games. I'm such a fan of puzzle games. I love the ones that are very complex and just make you feel like you're a genius when you solve it, and you wonder, was that in the intended way for this thing to be solved, or did I just straight up come up with it, out of my butt, and nobody's ever done it before? Yeah, I really love that. And Antichamber just does a fantastic job of screwing with your mind. It's such a psychological game. So check that out. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I've actually not put that much time into it so far. I didn't get it till late in the year because I got it for my birthday, which I actually ended up getting early. It showed up in my Steam inventory list, and I installed it a little early. So, yeah, I've been playing that for a little bit and loving it. I actually own every single Assassin's Creed game, all of them, but I've never played any of them except for the very first one. I played it for about 15 minutes. Again, I own them because of Steam sales. So, Assassin's Creed 4, I just have been seeing so many good things about it. I didn't want anything to get spoiled. I love pirates. It's a great atmosphere for me, so I just had to try it out. And I've been loving the game, the gameplay, the graphics, the naval combat. It's very easily done, but still has a lot of depth to it. I love it. Of course, you guys have subscribed to my channel. You should know that Battlefield 4 was going to make it onto the list. Yes, Battlefield 4 has had a ton of bugs, glitches, issues. I've heard a rumor now that they're probably going to, as an apology, be giving out one of their DLCs, be it China Rising or Second Assault, probably going to be giving that out as an apology for free. But the gameplay is so solid. The sound design is so solid. The gun and vehicle design is so solid, while there might be some balance issues needed for some of the vehicle things. But the map design is just, it's so good. It reminds me so much of Battlefield 2 and 2142. The game is just overall so good. When they get it to a state near Battlefield 3's stability, which wasn't the best, but if they can get it to that point, the game will be a near flawless shooter and just so much fun. So Battlefield 4, you can't beat the levolution and physics, and it's such a great game. You guys already know that. You're subscribed to my channel, most of you. I don't imagine too many people Googling this video. But next one on the list, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Now, this is on there because of the writing. It was so comical. I have laughed so hard. I obviously, you guys could probably do the math with me, that this being my birthday, and I'm 26 years old. I was born in 1987, so I was just barely in the 80s. But my family, they were real big into films from 80s. I have a very big movie buff type of family, and I myself am. I've seen so many of the movies that came out in the 80s, and I just loved all the references that Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon did. I mean, the opening tutorial of the game was just, it was glorious. And the way that they changed up the gameplay of Far Cry 3, making it just slightly, with the sprint and the jumping, how everything was a little more intense, the melee, all the guns, everything just felt so great. The art style of it, the music, my goodness, it was like very Terminator 1 influenced, and it was just, it was so good. So good. Definitely a game you should experience, and it was very cheap. So, guys, and I've heard rumors or some press releases saying that they're actually going to do a full, straight-up series for Blood Dragon, that it was going to get its own sequel. I really hope so. Really hope so. Next in the list, and actually the one after that as well, is in a similar vein as to Blood Dragon, Saints Row 4. I loved Saints Row 3. I loved the departure that it wasn't really a departure, but the more taking it to the extremes from Saints Row 1 and 2. And it just took things to such a whole new level. And Saints Row 4 continued that. A lot of people didn't enjoy it because it was DLC pretty much, just more expanded into a full-fledged game. I loved taking it to that level of you're now the president. It was just perfectly ridiculous. The humor in it, the writing, the voice acting is so good. I laughed incredible amounts. The Tron level made a return. It was a refinement of Saints Row 3. In terms of some of the, because they did reuse a lot of the elements, but they did it perfectly. I don't think I got to play as a toilet again, but the vehicle's just as much fun, and the superpowers in it, that made the gameplay so much fun. It was like Infamous, and what was that one other game that came out around the same time as Infamous? I can't think of it, brain fart, but it was similar to that. But it was those games, but so much better. It was Crackdown was another game. It was all those different elements all brought into the Saints Row universe. And the comedy, it was just perfect, and a visual treat as well to see some of those powers. And again, another one that is there for a lot of the comedic aspect, but also having just such solid gameplay, Shadow Warrior. I have not finished the game yet. I'm still in the process of that, but holy crap, I was just blown away at the start for how it was visually. One of the most just beautiful games to look at from an aesthetic standpoint. I mean, graphics-wise, technical, it's pretty darn good, but from an aesthetic, artistic design, holy crap, it's just beautiful. So many colors, and not making it look like, you know, My Little Pony type. It's just, it's very beautiful. The Chinese architecture, and oh, it's so great. But the actual gameplay is so solid. I love the Serious Sam games. I love Hard Reset. These guys did both those, as well as that other top-down game that was something with the... I can't remember. But they got arcade units for referencing it throughout. But the references in it, again, you know, all these 80s references, and it was so good. It was so good. Solid game, amazing gameplay, such a fast-paced action, things like that. Just, you guys, check it out. It's another real cheap title, so get it. It's so worth it. Next on the list is Stanley Parable. This one, it's kind of like, it's not a game in the sense that you are actually doing a whole lot of action. You're not killing anybody. There's no platforming, really. It's a puzzle, kind of. It's not even really a puzzle. It's kind of like Dear Esther. And it's kind of like the Stanley Parable mod, but it's just a brilliant game, and I say brilliant because it's got that British guy, and it makes me think of Britishy people and Britishy sayings like brilliant, and it's an experience that you need to experience. Guys, check it out. Stanley Parable is fantastic. Next on the list, Tomb Raider. This caught me off guard. I've never been the biggest fan of the Tomb Raider series. The PlayStation 1 was never really big in my household because it kind of killed Squaresoft, and Square Enix came in and kind of ruined the Final Fantasy franchise and a lot of other RPGs. But so it was kind of not a big thing in my household. So I didn't really get to play too much Tomb Raider as a child. But dadgum, Tomb Raider, this reboot that they did is fantastic. They really did a great job of making Lara Croft feel like someone that you could care about, and she's not just a pair of boobs and booty. The graphics are fantastic. That opening sequence, it was like the opening of Bioshock 1, where you're just kind of standing there waiting for this cutscene to end, and then you're like, this is awkward. You move your mouse just a little bit, and you're like, holy crap, this is not a cutscene. This is... wow, this is the game. It's just breathtaking in that regard. The gameplay is so solid. They've taken... well, Uncharted took from Lara Croft from Tomb Raider and turned it into like this action movie type of thing. And well, Tomb Raider, the reboot, took from Uncharted and really made it just a solid experience. They definitely put their own good spin on it. The crafting system and the bow mechanic is just such a great game. So guys, check that one out. Currently on sale on Steam for $9.99. So I mean, all these games, get them on Steam real cheap, or console guys, get them however you can. Warframe is the last on my top 9. Warframe is a free-to-play game on PC. It's technically still in beta, but the beta went open beta March of this year, I believe. So that's why I was able to make this list for 2013. And holy crap. I logged in around 150 hours before I actually even spent money, and I only spent money because there was a Steam sale, and I felt like these guys deserve my money, these developers. The graphics, beautiful from a technical standpoint. The aesthetics, the art design, amazing. These are the guys that made Unreal Tournament. It's so fast-paced. This is a game that will really improve your accuracy and aiming and things like that because of how fast-paced it is. The level design is great. The events that they do are fantastic. The weapons, oh man, the ranged and melee. The melee is just so crazy. The movement system with, doing a wall run to jumping off and then sliding across the ground and doing a 360-degree spin, taking out people at their knees with your sword or your axe or whatever crazy throwing knives. It's Space Ninjas. You can't beat Space Ninjas. It's impossible. So yeah, Warframe, check it out. It's free for you PlayStation 4 guys. You can also get it on there for free. Xbox One guys, sorry, should have gotten PlayStation 4. Yeah, check that game out. It's so good. It's so good. Give it a chance. Play with buddies. It's 4-player co-op. Give it a chance. Free game. Now, for my top game of 2013, and I actually will say this is my favorite game of all time. I'm not saying it's the best game of all time. Before this game became my top game of all time, Planescape Torment was my favorite game of all time, which was a PC game in 1999. So it's taken this many years for something to replace my top favorite game of all time. And this is BioShock Infinite. Now, I know, it did real well critically. It did real well in sales. And I'm sure it's now the cool thing to hate it and to pick it apart and find loopholes and whatnot. But honestly, the story blew me away. The ending sequence blew me away. I'm going to try not to spoil too much, but oh my gosh. It's kind of like when I saw Inception. I've rewatched Inception countless times, and every time I watch it, I find something new. In fact, in that, I'm pretty sure I know how that actually ended. I've got a little trick. PM me if you want to know what my trick is to finding out the end of Inception. But BioShock Infinite has just... oh god, the world that they've created, that Ken Levine created. I loved System Shock 2 back in the day. System Shock 1, I didn't get to play it as much, but System Shock 2, one of the scariest games I played, gave me nightmares as a child. When BioShock came out, I was blown away again by the world that they created for Rapture and the story. Would you kindly play Rapture and BioShock? BioShock 2, great game in its own right. Different people, it didn't have it was kind of like Matrix Reloaded. It's this. How do you follow up to that? Well, BioShock Infinite followed up perfectly. The world of Columbia was beautiful. The openness, the change up in gameplay with the Skyrail system. God, some of those action sequences were just so top notch. Some of the fights could be annoying. I played it on the 1999 mode, which was a reference to System Shock 2, which made it very difficult. You have to get headshots and take cover all the time, or else you're just going to die too fast or run out of ammo because of how much it takes to kill dudes. And so it was a very challenging game for me to play 1999 mode from the very get-go, because I used the Konami code to unlock it. Most people unlocked it by playing the game through, but I used Konami cheat and got it from the get-go and did it, and oh my goodness, it was so challenging. Some of those fights against the witch chick in the graveyard, if you guys have played it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Her fight, oh god, it was totally difficult, and the final fight was just insane, but really it's the plot. Inception, great action, had some good comedy in there, but it was the story, the plot, and it was the same for BioShock for me. BioShock Infinite just had this amazing story that I can't wait to replay that game. It's easy to rewatch Inception. It's just a 2-hour movie, but to play this game that takes 15 hours or however long it took me to play, that's a lot harder to pull off. So I really look forward to playing the DLC for that, and then also playing through the starting game again and seeing all of the details that would now make sense. Ah, man. It's just, guys, if you haven't played BioShock Infinite, do yourself a favor, please get it. And if you can, financially, for all of these games, financially get them at full price. I know it's nice to get things at a deal, but these are the games that I feel these developers truly do deserve your money. Especially things like Warframe, where they're constantly still coming out with new content in their patches for free. It's a free-to-play game. I mean, they truly deserve your money. All these games, just so great. You can really feel the passion. These are not Call of Duty. Well, sorry for harping on Call of Duty, but I mean, it's not just a yearly release. It's not just this big company forcing them to get this game out. You can argue some things about Battlefield in that regard, but the gameplay still speaks for itself. It's so solid. You can really feel that passion in all of these titles. So, guys, if you like my opinions on things, and you think that I can have a trusting opinion to listen to, then get these games. If you have not, please get these games. And if they're on sale, well, then get one for yourself and a friend to make up for the loss in money that they're not getting because it's at sale price. Steam's great for these sales. Great way to get these games in people's hands, but dadgum, these people really truly deserve your money. So guys, check it out. Again, Antichamber, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Battlefield 4, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, Saints Row 4, Shadow Warrior, The Stanley Parable, Tomb Raider, Warframe, and my top game of the year and of all time, BioShock Infinite. Cannot wait for the next thing that comes out of Ken Levine's group. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. I guarantee it. I hope. Hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay and enjoyed 2013. A fantastic year for games. Looking forward to 2014. A lot of great things going to be coming out. Hope you guys have enjoyed all of it. Have a good one. Ta-ta.